Yeah, it was a few months ago, several months ago, that something about this ricin scare started to show up on Google search results for the president. You know, and I really don't, I'm feeling like I really don't want to make this video. I really don't want to talk about this because there are some things that I do not even want to believe. I do not even want to think that this might be what's happening, and yet, you know, there seems to be kind of a pattern developing. It was right around April, yeah. April, yeah, they're saying in April, right? April. That was around the time that I was starting to see search results for the president saying ricin scare letter sent to them and that sort of thing. And I thought it was probably used as code for the fact that Ryan Philippe seemed to have some interest. Seemed to have some interest about me, and his ex-wife's name is Reese. And I hadn't had any sort of interaction with him. I hadn't really encouraged him. He's part of the conglomerate, so I had gotten more and more wary about that. And yet I certainly objected to him being threatened and her being threatened. And I kind of didn't really think about it anymore. I thought, well, maybe it was just a particular thing that they decided to talk about, that may in fact have happened. These ricin letters may in fact have happened, but they just decided to publicize them, and it was just something that kind of happened around the same time, and they were just kind of just making sure that people heard about it as a way of threatening Ryan Philippe and even his ex-wife, who had she was not remotely involved, had nothing to do with it, right, in terms of Mr. Philippe's interest about me or any of that. I mean, there had really nothing had happened whatsoever. But now what I'm starting to think, although I don't want to, is that maybe it's all kind of made up. It's all kind of made up, and it's actually the president, people working for the president are actually framing people, are actually saying, this is are just going out and arresting people, and saying that they did something wrong that they didn't do. There's this. I had done the writing for Friday Night Lights. It seems like they kind of arrested a number of people. This woman, Shannon Richardson, she was an actress, so you can't really know what her politics were. I don't really know. They're obviously not talking about it that much. But then what's making me kind of think this, what is making me think more and more that this is just kind of a setup done by the White House and other people who are involved with this faction of the Democratic Party. This seems to be a very dangerous faction of the Democratic Party. See, here's this, and what I'm wondering is if they are simply targeting and framing people, targeting and framing their political opponents, right? Because it's just, I have to say, I don't even really want to think that this is a possibility. This is happening, and yet now they've attacked that they've killed this woman. They've killed this woman, Miriam Carey, and I have yet to see any video that shows that she did anything at all except try to get away from police officers that were threatening her, right? I mean, if they're wondering what's going on with her, it just seems like and here's the thing. There's a Miriam Carey song that I have played a number of times at YouTube and actually uploaded, called Obsessed, right? I guess it was from 2009 that she wrote that. I have played that song many times. I've uploaded it to the my listening device a number of times. And so what I'm wondering is if they actually did target this woman. They found out that she had postpartum depression, and they just targeted her because of her name, and we're harassing her, and we're spying on her, and we're trying to terrify her, and we're hoping that they could do something to her, either get her locked up, or get her arrested for something, or just frighten her so much that they could attack her. And that's kind of what I'm wondering. I'm kind of wondering if that's actually what happened. To be honest with you. Let's see, I'm looking for, and I saw something in particular. I saw, which one was it? It was, looking for the one I was, let me see. There was one at the end. There was this one thing that I saw at the end of this one. This is a CBS News. This is a CBS News article. But yeah, and this stuff, I don't know why she would tell anyone that she was a prophet. I've never claimed to be a prophet. this lockdown thing, that actually has a code meaning, in terms of that has a particular code meaning in terms of the situation with Zac Efron and Emma Watson, and as far as having people's residences under surveillance. You know, I'm not even going to discuss that right now. But the one thing I saw at the end of this one was this. Donald Knowles is a friend who saw Carey just a few days ago. She was all smiles, said Knowles, like she didn't have a care in the world. I suppose it may or may not be that she actually had a friend named Donald Knowles, but Knowles is Beyonce's last name. And there have been times when Beyonce has shown some resistance to the president and his behavior, which he doesn't like. And what I actually have started to ask myself, and I'm thinking maybe there are other people who are asking the same questions, is if in fact people who are working for the president are framing and targeting and threatening and now even killing people so that they can publish these stories as code, like publish code stories, to threaten people, threaten me, threaten people in the industry, threaten people who might be thinking about resisting. I seriously, it sounds crazy even to me, and yet it's just starting to seem like, I mean, look at this. This Bob is a code word for Ben Affleck, and this has been like a code word, or just the word "or" has been kind of a code word for the very tortured, never consummated, right? And basically defunct, sort of not like preliminary romance that never got anywhere. The idea of it was you know, me marrying Zac Efron. That's since 2010. The "or" without the extra R. So you know, it seems I would not be surprised. I'd be a little bit surprised because it's so evil. And yet, I think I have to ask that question, and I would think that probably everybody who is actually, you know, part of the conglomerate, or who has really been paying attention to the conglomerate, you know, not just people in the public, not people who don't have access to more information, not people who don't really seriously know what's going on with me, but I would think probably everybody else is wondering if that at this point what's going on. This is CBS, huh? Yeah.